Mr. Roberto, the stage is yours.
Selamat pagi dan selamat datang ke Innovation Summit Jakarta 2022. Good morning, welcome to everyone to the Innovation Summit Jakarta 2022. I would like to start by express my big thanks to all of you, right? For your partnership and for your trust. While standing here in front of you, I realize all the topics that we have been through in the last 3 years and how we together came out of them stronger than ever. Then, big thanks for that. You know, I have been already more than a decade in Schneider in several countries, and now in Indonesia, I am really happy for be here, and honored because Indonesia is one of the most promising markets for Schneider for the years to come. And it's not only because of the characteristic of Indonesia, but also because the legacy that we have here. Almost 50 years building a partnership with you, a partnership with the government, and putting all the bricks, people, technologies, plant in Batam, plant in Shikaran, digitization. We have been a trusted partner for you, as well as you have been with us. And this event is, I guess, another brick on the wall of this construction, where we want to show our appreciation to you, as well as we want to show you the way in which we see the future and what we are expecting from you in the years to come. And as we are not alone in this journey, I am honored to introduce the key speaker for the morning. Already you listened from the Master of Ceremony, but I want to reinforce my appreciation to Ibu Shinta Kamdani, Bapak Haris Yaya, Bapak Greatman Rashab, Bapak Sujono Respati, and Manish Pant, that will be during the morning with us as key speaker, bringing ideas and concepts to us. Then I would like to first start by why Schneider exists. We consider in Schneider that our purpose is empower all to make the most of our energy and resources, reaching progress and sustainability for all. And we call this in Schneider as life is on. The statement is pretty simple, but it's quite remarkable, because while we need to help almost 2 billion people have access to green energy and to digitization, we cannot consume more resources. And moving forward, our mission, what we do, right? So our mission is pretty straightforward and clear in fulfilling this purpose, which is we want to be your digital partner for sustainability and efficiency. While for us, sustainability and efficiency is the two sides of the same coin. Then, having said that, our historical track record and who we are and what we are doing, I would like to enter in what does it mean sustainability for Indonesia as per today, right? Then, one of my favorite things here, on top of the people, the landscape, the food, is there is a general optimism, right? An ambition to be, in 2030, one of the top 10 economies. And there is a general sense of pride about what we are doing, how we are doing it. And I see almost everyone really focused on harvesting the potential of the resources of the country to unlock equitable and sustainable growth. This is quite remarkable in terms of behavior, general behavior of everyone. But it's not only the general behavior. It's clear, I guess, here for everyone that the climate change is the defining issue of our era, and our generation, it should be the one who address the topic. And in line with that, we need to understand that Indonesia is very vulnerable for the long coastline, for the island, for the large population, for so many reasons. I have been talking with the Philippines, etc. So we are countries that are really vulnerable. Then I am glad to see that the government of Indonesia take this very seriously, commit with the 1.5 Celsius degrees incremental, and to achieve that, we took commitment by 2025 to achieve 23% of green generation and to reduce 32%, almost 32% of greenhouse emission without external help, while with external help, we can reach 42, 41, 43%, which is pretty much in line with our vision in Schneider. Our vision in Schneider is that by 2030, globally speaking, we need to reduce by 50% the CO2 emissions to try to be net zero by 2060. Then we have the culture, we have the commitment, but around there is a big ecosystem moving forward. Indonesia in 2020 has released the first ever sustainable development plan, along with key companies started to take clear commitment. It's not just anymore one statement. There are numbers, there are goals, there are due dates, like in the case of PLN, where they have commitment for sustainability strategy initiative and digitization roadmap, jumping into microgrid, jumping into smart grid, as well as commitment to connect electrical vehicles. In the data center domain, the Ministry of ICT keep focus on investment and to boost digitization. In the Ministry of Industry, a strong focus for Industry 4.0, embracing sustainability and innovation. And in building, we see a positive movement. You need to know that building represents 40% of the global carbon emission. Then it's a key vector for decarbonization. And there we see more and more key developers and key consultants asking for us solutions to contribute to the climate change. By then, we have all the bricks. And we were wondering what is happening in this room, right? Then we did a quick survey with you to understand, okay, what is happening with our ecosystem? What is happening with us? And the result of the survey of the almost 4,000 people already participating in this event is pretty much aligned and promising. 81% say sustainability goals are part of my strategy. 41% say we are able to translate the sustainability goals into plan. 86% say we want to be first mover in technology adoption or second mover, which is great. And almost 60% are working today in energy efficiency, which is the fastest route to decarbonization. First, let's reduce the consumption. Later, we can make the energy green. But still the challenges are there, and they state that somehow the roadblocks are coming from cultural transformation, from internal alignment, and mainly from data, which means we need to digitize. Because without digitization and proper digitization, we don't have the expected data to make it happen. Then we have all this, right? We have the culture, we have the commitment, we have the ecosystem, and we have this beautiful team already committed. And now we need to think how to accelerate. And in Schneider, we consider that despite of the challenges, the technology already exists, right? We know how to produce energy without CO2 emissions. We know how to electrify fossil fuel processes. We know how to digitize for efficiency. We know all of this. And at Schneider, we consider that electrification and digitization are the key ways to decarbonize our world. Why? Because electricity is the most efficient source of energy, and on top of that, could be generated in a clean way. And digitization through cloud computing, through IoT, internal artificial intelligence, and machine learning, can untap topics that we cannot see today, knowing how we behave and unleashing new levels of efficiency. In this way, look like electricity make energy greener, as well as digitization make energy smart. And you know, we have been recognized almost for all the associations and entities worldwide as one of the leading companies in the domain of sustainability. For sure, we have a lot of solutions for the customer, for the suppliers, and for ourselves. But we cannot do it alone. It's our collective duty to deploy this. For sure, we have a state-of-art solution. You will see the beautiful SMR set, the first ever secondary medium voltage equipment insulated with pure air, as well as our EcoStructure platform solution that leverage the most advanced technologies in the domain of measurement, sensing, mobility, cybersecurity, etc. We have all this, but we have to implement this. We need to have customer committed with the sustainability, able to jump into these new technologies, as well as partner to develop that. And we already did some of them. This is the good news. It's not something that I am asking now. We have a lot of beautiful cases, and we are doing step-by-step meaningful actions with our customer, as well as in our plant in Batam. Our plant in Batam is one of the lighthouse worldwide for Industry 4.0, and in Shikaran, we have full digitization as well as solar panel generation, covering or helping us to save almost 200 tons of CO2 per year, which is more or less 900 trees per year, the one that we are saving. But we are still committed with that, with being Green Heroes for life, for ourselves, for our customers, for our partners. And this is exactly why I am here, right? I am here to ask you to join Green Heroes for Life with us, a sustainable initiative driven by Schneider together with our ecosystem of partners and customers to lead the journey versus sustainability by showing the example. The example in energy efficiency, the example in automation, digitization, the example of we can run our operation in a different manner, in more responsible way. So to close, I do hope you will enjoy this today with us. The Innovation Summit Jakarta 2022 has been long-lasting, waiting wish that today came to reality. I invite you to explore, after all the keynotes and roundtable, our innovation hub, where you will see by domain all the solutions that we can offer to you, to partner with you. And I would like to talk with you all to understand how we can collaborate and to become Green Heroes for Life, doing this for your operation as well as for your customers. Don't miss the launch of SMR Set. I really love this solution, as well as the Sustainability Award for Food and Bev and the session with the university student. During the afternoon, you will have session for Grid of the Future, Building of the Future, Data Center of the Future, as well as Industry of the Future. Then, thanks again for the long-lasting story with us, almost 50 years, and thank you in advance for joining us in Green Heroes for Life to build a net zero future. Thanks a lot. See you around.
Mr. Management, the stage is yours.
Salamat pagi, good morning, our customers, partners. Great to see you here. Roberto has set a wonderful stage for us, and we are very pleased to have you after a gap of few years once again in this audience. And The world has changed in the meantime. Of course, we have come out stronger, but at the same time, there are new challenges that we are facing, not to mention that climate change is the leading one amongst them. And I know we are all committed to it. I'm here on behalf of Schneider Electric to talk to you about some of those elements that are going to help us overcome the challenges that we are facing today and make the world on the path of 1.5 degrees. So I would start by saying that our mission at Schneider Electric is to be your digital partner for sustainability and efficiency. We truly believe that we are powering the digital economy, and both with power and digital, it is something which is key element to us, living our lives in a much more sustainable way, and this is what we call as life is on at Schneider Electric. Now, we are very solidly committed to Indonesia. You've seen the slide of Roberto. We are going to be completing our 50 years. It's a very proud moment for us. Shows the commitment of Schneider Electric to Indonesia, and this is something that we keep on growing year on year. Now, coming back to where we started talking, yes, climate change is the biggest issue of our time, and the issue of climate change is because of energy. And why we say that is because 80% of the carbon dioxide emissions are because of the energy demand, which is still focused on fossil fuels. And the other element of that is 60% of that energy that we are consuming is actually wasted in different processes that lead to the consumption of energy. Here in Indonesia, we are moving on the path of carbon neutrality, which the government has committed by 2060, and still a lot needs to be done. Going forward, we saw that the 23% target that has been set by the government for moving from 13% today to 23% in 2025. Now, moving on, what do we need to do in order to reach this 1.5 degree temperature rise that we have all committed to by the end of the century? In order to do that, we have to get to net zero by 2050. But before we get to net zero by 2050, we need to make sure that we are reducing by 50% the carbon dioxide by 2030. And we are just a few days away from the start of the new COP27, but in the last COP, the commitments that have been made by the various governments, as you see here, based on the work that has been done by the Schneider Sustainability Institute, we need to do 3 times more. We have committed to 10 gigatons, to 3 gigatons per annum, but we need to reduce 10 to 15 gigatons, and that means we have to do 3 times more, and we have to do 3 times faster, because we are already in 2022, and we have just 8 years left in this century. So that's the challenge that we are facing today. Now, we are in the midst of an energy transition which is happening right now, and this energy transition is the 4th transition, let's say, which has happened from the start of the use of wood to coal to oil and then to gas, followed by renewable energy. The difference this time is that this energy transition is more linked to climate change and the catastrophic elements of that change, which we need to overcome. The other aspect is that this change, this energy transition, will not only happen on the supply side, but also it's an energy transition which has to happen on the demand side as well, and which is how the energy is consumed and not just only how energy is generated. So the equation for this that we feel is required is the combination of electric plus digital, which is going to make us on the path of 1.5 degree. And this is what we call as electricity 4.0. Electric, because it's the best vector of decarbonization, because it can be generated with zero emissions when it is renewable. At the same time, together with digitization, which is going to make energy visible, as well as drive energy efficiency, and therefore electric plus digital is the equation, that is the equation for now, as well as the equation for future, for us to get on the path of 1.5 degree. Now, let's look at it first on the side of electricity, which is able to make energy green. And we know that electricity is the most efficient vector of decarbonization. And why we say that is because it is 3 to 5 times more efficient than any other form of energy. We see here that when you are generating energy from renewables, you are able to get almost 95% efficiency on an end-to-end, which is almost 3 times more than what you get in any other form of energy. The other thing about electricity is that, of course, it can be generated through renewables, and Bloomberg New Energy says that, according to some of the studies, that the amount of renewables will increase from 28% to 56% by 2050. So it's a big shift in terms of the generation that is going to happen through renewables. The second thing is that the amount of electricity in the energy mix is also going to increase from 18% today to almost 50% by 2050. So that's a big shift which is going to happen as part of the electrification that is going to take place. Now, when this is happening, it would mean that there are substantial changes in terms of how we use electricity. It would change that we need to adapt our grids, which is going to become a lot more of decentralized as compared to what it is today. We know that renewables are something that could be generated very close to the area of consumption. You can have solar on rooftop and bring it to where you are consuming the energy. And having said that, it makes it even more efficient because you're not losing anything on transmission. The use of electricity is also making other changes. For example, if you look at the electric vehicle, which we are starting to adopt more and more, you are able to directly power the wheels through the motor and therefore save a lot of energy as compared to fossil fuel cars in the internal combustion engine. So electricity is therefore the most efficient vector of decarbonization, and the more we use electricity, the more we use renewables, it is going to make us on the path of sustainability. The silver lining on top is the fact that when we are using renewables, we are also hedged against cost. Solar energy, once we have installed it, is free of cost. We're also seeing the inflation that we are facing today in terms of fossil fuels, and the use of renewables is going to help us get over that. Now, the challenge is, how do we integrate that renewable energy into our systems? The second part of the equation was digital, which is making the invisible visible. We said at the beginning that 80% of the problem of carbon is coming from energy, and digital is making that 80% visible. And this is therefore very key as part of solving the equation of sustainability. We will be using more and more IoT devices, which are probably going to increase by a factor of 6 to 8 going forward, and the use of these technologies, which are possible thanks to digital today, coupled with the flow of electricity, is going to put us on the path of eliminating a lot of energy waste and therefore being on the path of sustainability. So, what we are saying is that to get back on the path to 1.5 degree and to see how we can ensure that we are reducing, we are reducing carbon and the path of net zero, there are things that we can do today while we continue to work on the long-term solutions that we are working on, which is hydrogen and carbon capture. What we are able to do today is to replace the use of energy with renewables, which is going to solve a large part of our carbon equation. Then to electrify, we talked about the benefits of electrification. So the more we are able to electrify our applications, whether it is heating, cooling, cooking, or the use of electric vehicles, it is going to lead us to that much of decarbonization. And finally, it is about reduction. It is about energy efficiency in what we use, and reduction of that is what is going to all three of them together are going to make the big equation possible. And the good news here is that there are technologies available today which are going to make this happen. Now, what we also see is that in order to get on that path of sustainability and efficiency, we need a higher level of integration in terms of how we use these technologies. At Schneider Electric, we have worked for over 20 years to empower our partners and customers to get them to those type of integrations. There are 5 of them. The first one is energy and automation. Thanks to what we talked about, electricity and digital, we are now able to look at a complete process in any plant, in any building, and we don't have to isolate what we do on the side of energy supply and what we do on the side of demand, which is on the process side. So both the combination of energy and automation is going to, that integration is the first thing that is going to change. The second is about endpoint to cloud. As more and more digital comes in, we are able to operate our devices on the shop floor, as well as we are able to integrate them on the cloud so that we are able to manage it remotely, as well as we are able to manage it on the shop floor. And this is giving a full transparency to the customers to manage their full operations, both remotely as well as on site. The third integration is about life cycle integration, which is the ability to integrate the design, build, operate, service, and maintain across the life cycle, and giving the ability to our customers to manage that end to end. The fourth one is looking at side by side. Instead of looking side by side, you are able to look at one unified operating center. Take the case of hotels. If you have a chain of hotels, you don't have to manage anymore your hotels side by side, but you could be sitting in one operating center and managing all your hotels. Or if you have factories which are running all across Indonesia, you could be managing all of them standing at one place which is what we call as the unified operating center. And finally, it is about demand and supply integration. This is possible because, as we said before, the change today is we are able to integrate demand and supply and link it together thanks to the technologies that exist. And by doing so, we are able to ensure that at any point of time, we are using the greenest form of energy, the cheapest form of energy, and the most reliable form of energy that is available to us. So these 5 integrations are what are going to help us get on the path of sustainability. And for us at Schneider Electric, we have, I'm sure you've heard about our EcoStruxure platform, which is able to bring this together and deliver value to you in your installations, whether it's in a building, whether it's in an infrastructure, whether it's in a factory or a hospital, in any of your applications. This is something that we have brought together. It's a 3-layered stack that has been built, And the other element is that it is able to get cut across the full life cycle, starting from design all the way through operate and maintain. What we are doing to reinforce EcoStruxure is to build on top layers of software and companies that we are integrating on EcoStruxure so that we are able to continue to bring more value and get the full power of digital. The other important element is that this whole system is open and completely interoperable. We know you as customers have choices to make and would like to integrate some of the other companies' products or sensors on this platform, and this is very much possible through the EcoStruxure platform. Now, I want to bring to you some example of how EcoStruxure is being used, and here is an example of a leading egg producer in Singapore that was moving to a new facility and to see what did they do. So let's watch this video from Choose Eggs.
Choose is one of the 3 egg farms in Singapore. We have coming to 35 years of history. Currently, we may be the largest producer in Singapore with 800,000 eggs every day, and we are the only producer in Singapore with cage-free eggs. At our previous location, there were frequent breakdowns due to the age of our equipment and facilities. Because we are running automated houses, any outage in the power puts our chickens' lives at risk. When we had to relocate our farm, we were looking for a reputable partner with reliable equipment and quality after-sales service, and so we started engaging with Schneider for the development of our new facility. Schneider's EcoStruxure solution helps us to maintain our ventilation, egg collection, lighting and feeding system at an optimum level. The platform allows us to collect data from the connected products in the main switch room, such as thermal sensors. All this information and data is put together in a single dashboard, which we can readily access and reduce maintenance downtime. We intend to continue automating our farm and look into new innovative technologies. Our long-term goal is to become carbon neutral and provide Singapore with fresh, safe and green eggs. We are part of the 30 by 30 program run by SFA. We are on track to produce 1 million eggs every single day. Engaging with Schneider has allowed us to become more resilient, adaptable, and capable of ensuring food security for Singapore in a sustainable way.
Simple application of EcoStruxure. It can go from simple to complex complex applications. Now, I want to also bring together another example. We at Schneider Electric are eating our own food, and we are using our own technologies in our sites. Roberto mentioned about what we are doing here in Batam, which is a lighthouse factory for the World Economic Forum and also for Indonesia, where we are significantly reducing our waste as well as bringing a lot of efficiency in the plant. In the office that we have, our regional office in Singapore, which is actually a 26 years old building, we have completely renovated it using the technologies of Schneider Electric, which has, and other companies, it uses 5,000 sensors integrated into EcoStruxure platform. And we have been able to reduce from 2017, 50% of energy that we have been consuming. We also generate solar, small amount of solar locally, as well as this building is carbon neutral and starting from last year onwards. So this has been recognized as one of the leading green platinum buildings in Singapore, and we won an award. And this would be showcased also in the next COP, which is happening in Egypt in a few days from now. So, what we just showed you, we are deploying at scale. We gave you some examples, but this is applicable across different segments, whether it's in building, in data centers, in hospitals, And today, or today and tomorrow, we are going to talk in detail about these applications here in this Innovation Summit. And together, we have been able to save almost 800,000 metric tons for our customers across different segments and applications. Finally, I want to say that as a company, we are very, very strongly committed to sustainability. We have taken targets that we are going to be in Scope 1 and 2 carbon neutral by 2025, and across our Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3 will be carbon neutral by 2040 and will be net zero by 2050. While we are doing that and being committed to the complete 17 SDG goals, we are also doing a lot for our communities, starting from here in Indonesia. We have committed to give 50 million people access to green electricity. We are talking about energy transition, but let's not forget that energy availability is also a big challenge in the world. A lot of people, including here in Indonesia, don't have access to electricity, and we need to provide that. Also, we are training, we have a lot of people, and we have taken a target of training 1 million people. And again, a lot of work is happening here in Indonesia in vocational institutes to train them on the new elements of electricity and digital and automation so that we can bring gainful employment as well as ensure that we have people available to service you, our customers, as you go forward on this journey. Having said that, we need both electric and digital to secure a sustainable future. But what is important is that we need to act now. And we talked about that we need to reduce, we need to replace, and we need to electrify the applications, which is the path to how we can get to 1.5 degrees in terms of temperature rise, or rather limited to 1.5 degree temperature rise. That being said, the only way is to act together, as partnerships are the greatest assets and no individual stakeholders can go through this journey alone. So let's discover, I invite you to discover the next 2 days on what we have brought together with electric and digital from Schneider Electric to see things that you could use, deploy, and act now on this as we get together on the journey of decarbonization and sustainability. I wish you a great rest of the 2 days here in Jakarta. Thank you.